All right, we're breaking out the Word document. So this is my, here it is, my general advice before we begin, right, is that when you watch a replay, unless you want to look for something specific, always watch your replays in bulk, right? So like if you play like 3 or 4 days a week, watch your replays on one day, because after you play a match, you could be not in like a very analytical mindset. So if you wait and you watch all your replays in bulk on one day, you're a little bit more detached, which helps you be more objective and observant. Also, by saving your replays and watching them in bulk, you can get a better idea of like general patterns that happen to you. Because if you watch replays after, like right after you play, it's you're gonna watch a replay and then play a game, then watch a replay and then play a game, and that spreads out the replay viewing, so it can be a lot harder to identify like general patterns in your gameplay. So this is August 27th, 2020. Okay. So we got the replay review. First, we're just gonna watch over both matches with we're gonna watch over both matches just at double speed. We're just gonna see what happens, right? We're gonna look for general stuff, and then after we watch over both matches, we're gonna try to go back and use like a fine-tooth comb.
Round one. Fight.
Okay. Alright, let's turn on the hitboxes actually too. That'll be useful. Let's get everything set up. Where's the hitbox viewer at? Did I close it? No, it's right here. You would think I'd know how to do this. I've done it so much. Okay, here we go. Alright, it's 2x. Where's the 2x button? There it is. Okay. There you go. Tiger. Sonic. Tiger. Okay. Combination. He just walked out. Oh, he missed it. Okay. Shout out to Sagat. I think Sagat is overrated and the coolness factor, but he's still really cool. Oh, okay. A lot of missed anti-airs, I noticed. Tiger. Sonic. Okay. Tiger shots.
Sagat wins.
A lot of missed AAs. So these are just general things I saw off this. So I'm just gonna write down. These are things that I'm gonna investigate later, right? Like so, anti-airs ? And then we got high tiger shot, trouble, and then I noticed not a lot of big combos. Okay. Shout out to formatting. Formatting's impossible, bro. How do you format in Word? Okay, here we go. Next replay. We're just trying to get a general idea of what went on right now. Man, I'm sweating bullets. It is actually really hot in this room. Gross. hope my camera is small enough that no one can see.
Round one. Fight.
Let's turn on the quick display. I also notice a lot of moonsault to approach. A lot of moonsault to approach. Okay. Sonic Side. Not a lot of throws either. I know not I didn't see a lot of throws yet. Not a lot of throws. Okay. Tiger. Moonsault to approach again. Just looking for general patterns. Things that we see over and over again. And then once we've identified like these general things, we're going to go back over the replay and take a closer look at them. Okay. No CC punish. That's not a lot of big combos right there. Speed reversal. There's a throw. The rare throw. EX Tiger Shot. Okay. Alright. So far, the general things I notice is like anti-airs, question mark. Sagat's getting away with a lot of high Tiger Shot. Not a lot of big combos. And I noticed Nash used a lot of moonsault to approach. And there was only like 1 or 2 throws throughout the whole thing. Alright. So game 1, round 1. Game 1, round 1. Round 1. What do we see? This is Nash versus Sagat. So, as Nash, right, you have somewhat of an advantage here, right, far away like this, because you have V skill 1, right? So this pretty much can negate, like you attempted it there, but it's, you know, it can be a little tricky, but this negates Tiger Shot like straight up, right? So what you can do is if he throws low Tiger Shot, grab it, high Tiger Shot, you get a free crouch, right? You could grab high Tiger Shot too. It just depends on when he throws them. One of the things you want to be careful of is that even if you absorb the fireball, the further you are away, the more advantageous the opponent is going to be. So if you grab a fireball, he can throw another one quickly, right? Yeah, you get a lot of V-bar too. So you can far away, all you really gotta worry about is like, okay, I'm just gonna grab your Tiger Shots. It's up to Sagat to get closer, because if you have your V trigger, you can counter his Tiger Shot, right? Like if he Tiger Shots, you can just V trigger through it. So this is a good idea to just chill out and grab Tiger Shots. Not a problem. Okay. Frame trap. What is this? +2. +2. -4. Is that meant? There's no way. Huh. Is that stand medium? Hmm. Oh, big jump. Okay, so one of the things I see happening a lot is that you're walking around, but for no reason, right? Like I would like what does moving at these distances do for you? Are you trying to get in the position where you can react to Tiger Shot with V skill? Are you trying to avoid one of Sagat's normal attacks? Are you trying to get in position to do one of your normal attacks? Right? Why are we walking around at this distance? You see a lot of players do this. They just move for like they're not setting anything up. They're not doing anything with their movement, right? This is a little bit of a waste, and it can lead to a really bad habit where if you wiggle around the screen for no reason, you can sometimes accidentally walk yourself to the corner, because what'll happen is you'll just be absent-mindedly wiggling around the screen, and then you'll walk back, your opponent will walk forward, and then the screen cuts off and you can't move, you can't regain that space. So even though it doesn't really get you into trouble, I would say be careful walking backwards for no reason, right? Because getting cornered in this game is not only really easy, but it's really hard to get out of it. Like, it's really tough. Like, you do not want to get cornered. So walking around without doing anything specific. As you can see, right, like, there's not really a lot that happened. There's not really a lot that happened that pushed you back, right? Like, look at this sequence here. You lost almost a whole screen. You see how much closer to the corner you are now than you were before? Like, from round start, you just retreated back into the corner. This can get you in a bad situation. I don't think it comes up in this match because the opponent doesn't really take advantage of it, but that can like get you dunked versus someone who's really aware of like their proximity to the corner. The most valuable resource in the game is the space behind your character. The space between your character and the wall, the back of your character and the wall, is the most valuable resource. Big jump. Moonsault, right? Right here, you have a potential... like, he blocks us, right? You're double digits plus. You have a mix-up that... you do a block string, but then you just let it go. I think right here, maybe you missed your medium punch, and you plan to do moonsault, right? That's just an unfortunate error. Okay, moonsault again. Moonsault in a block string is really somewhat risky to do because the opponent can, if it's an uppercut character, they can uppercut you, right? Sagat might have a little bit of trouble uppercutting you there, but it's not impossible. This is what was talking about a moment ago, how you can V-trigger through his fireballs. I don't know if Nash specifically can like do a move out of that which would punish. Like if you did the kick move, maybe it would punish him. I'm not sure. Okay. Combination station. You're in the corner. This is the most advantageous position you could be in. Okay. You let him walk out. Right? So you retreat. But what are you retreating for? Right? Like, what is the purpose of your movement? You know, when you move, it's the same as when you do an attack or when you block or anything else, right? When you take an action, you want to do it with intention, because everything in this game is risky, right? And the risk here is that you lose space. So you walk really far away. If you're baiting the uppercut, right? So let's say, all right, we want to bait uppercut. Okay, how far do we need to be? So you backdash, right? If you say, for example, if you crouch right here, can he still throw you? Right? How far do you need to be for uppercut? Right? Because you got to think that your opponent is looking at you, right? He's deciding what he wants to do, and he's watching, right? Or hopefully he's paying attention. He sees you. Okay, right here, maybe I can uppercut him. Does he still want to uppercut when you're right here? What about right here? Right? I know it happens that he doesn't do quick rise, But even if he did quick rise and you retreat it this far away, I mean, what are you gonna do to him that he wants to uppercut at this distance, right? I think if you were baiting uppercut in this situation, you might just want to be like right here, right out of throw range, and then just block the reversal window, right? So like there's a certain amount of time he could wake up with a button. If you crouch block right here, he DPs you, you block it, you kill him. If he tries to throw whiffs, and then if he does a delayed button and you block the reversal window and then you do your button, you'll counter hit him out of his button, right? So this is just a little bit of unnecessary movement backwards, right? One of the ways, I don't want to like get too in depth because it's still the first round. Well, I mean, I want to be in depth, but I don't want to like muddy it up, like unspecific. One of the ways you can solve this is you need to have a Oki, right? You need to have like your knockdown pressure. You need to practice a couple sequences that will help you have an advantageous outcome in a situation, right? So like right here, instead of having like a pre-canned sequence, like instead of like, okay, if I knock them down with Sonic Scythe, I can do this, this, or this, and then you just like execute those without much, like, I don't want to say without thought, but to where it doesn't take a lot of like mental brain power, right? You want to have practiced your Oki sequences. You want to know what to expect and what to do. In this situation, it looks like you're just kind of freestyling his wake up, right? Like you're looking and you're like, okay, I think he's going to DP me back away. Ah, shit. Now we're in this situation, right? He just gets up and walks. And, I mean, it's just hard to react to. Like, he's walking forward. How far is he going to go? Is he going to do Tiger Shot? What do I do? Right? He just walks himself out of the corner. Again, this is, the dash is hard to react to. Okay. Did you try to jump here? Yeah, it looks like you try to jump. So, after the opponent throws you, especially in the middle of the screen, almost every character has no follow-up, right? So they forward throw you. This is why people say take the throw, right? Because if they throw you, they can't stay close, right? Because the frame advantage of the throw is such that they can't dash at you or walk up to you and get right in your face without being minus, without taking a huge risk, right? So most characters just get to do one normal attack and then the pressure is over, right? So after your opponent throws you in the middle of the screen, all you really have to do is block. You block and then you look and you say, okay, are they approaching me or did they press a button? And then you react to either, right? If they approach you, you can react by pressing your own jab because nobody can dash up after throw mid-screen, right? And if they press a button, you just continue to block. So right here, to jump, you don't actually need to jump. If you had just blocked this button, you would have been out of the situation. Right? So after a forward throw, in the middle of the screen, you only really need to block. You don't really need to worry about too much. You just want to block and see if they try to move towards you because the movement is unreal, right? It's punishable. Oh, he drops his combo. Okay, jump in. Moonsault. Okay. So we see walking back for nothing specific. Then we see a lot of moonsault in block strings can be interrupted. Unnecessary moving after getting thrown mid-screen. Okay, let's rewind. Be kind, rewind. Okay. 99-second jump, unfortunate. This happens to everybody, right? You'll just get jumped at. As a projectile character, you want to make a slight delay. Like always delay a little bit when you throw a fireball. If you throw a fireball right away, this is just such a common occurrence, especially like in net play. People love to 99-second jump. Just wait a little bit. And then, you know, people can mix you up, of course, like, oh, I'm going to delay jump, right? But at the beginning of the round, generally, you either want to move forward or backwards, right? Because you want to get into position where your options are powerful. So right here, at the beginning of the round, I would probably suggest, like, okay, if I want to throw fireballs, I'm going to move backwards a tiny little bit and then throw it where I'll be able to anti-air him after I throw it, right? Or if you wanted to, you know, follow up your fireball with like a little bit of pressure or something like that, because you have Sonic Boom, you can say, okay, I'm going to step forward a little bit, wait, and then throw a fireball so then I can follow it with a stand medium kick or something like that, right? But just fireball right away is a little bit vulnerable, because right here, if you throw the fireball, what does it get you, right? Like, what is the outcome of this choice? If we throw the fireball at this distance, we get a little bit of chip damage, a little bit of pushback, and those things are good, but our follow-ups aren't really that powerful, you know? And observing what your opponent does at the beginning of the round can be one of the most telling things about how they're going to proceed to play the next couple seconds of the match, right? So I would say right here, maybe a little bit more of a conservative approach, but it really depends on what kind of playstyle you want to have, right? I mean, I'm always going to recommend the conservative thing because I play lame as fuck. But that fireball, it's just risky. It's very risky, and it doesn't result in a lot of good situation. Okay, blocking, backing up. Okay, bazooka knee. I'm sure you know, as a Nash player, one of the important things about using bazooka knee is to try to space it so that you get frame advantage. You really only want to use that on the tippity tip of the move. It's not unsafe, I don't think, but you can space that to be like really frustrating to deal with. Sonic. Okay, high tiger shot, right? At this distance, Nash, you have a pretty long sweep as Nash, right? And he's been touching you with a lot of high tiger shots this whole match. Generally, what you can do is when you're close to Sagat, you can crouch, right? Because if you crouch, the high tiger shot will go over top of you. And if he chooses the high tiger shot, you can reactively punish it with sweep, right? So from like this distance, like where you are right now, to anywhere closer, like right here, you want to crouch. Because if he does high tiger like this, you just get a free punish. And Sagat doesn't really have any like super powerful overhead option at that distance, and his mobility is not really that great, so it's not like he's gonna scoot up and throw you real suddenly if you just decide to pop a squat. So like his most dangerous things are like his stand medium kick, stand hard punch, crouch hard punch, crouch medium kick, right? And so if you crouch, you negate the crouch medium kick, and then you're just blocking the other things, right? It's not like he's gonna get an extreme amount of frame advantage from doing a normal. So just walking up and crouching versus Sagat is pretty good. Furthermore about crouching is, if he stops doing high tiger shots, that's better for you, because the low tiger shot is you have more options to respond to it, right? It is very hard to jump or do an like a move that goes through fireballs versus high tiger shot, because the recovery is better. The recovery on low tiger shot is worse. So you're like you afford yourself more options by crouching, because you're going to encourage him not to do high tiger shots. Okay. Oh, anti-air chance. These are just hard to do. Like an anti-air, you just have to be ready and you have to react, right? So like right here, an anti-air would have been huge, like a heavy Sonic Scythe, but it's just difficult. There's nothing really fancy to it. It's just, you just have to anti-air. A lot of jumping. I'm noticing that when you approach through moves that have forward that are forward advancing, right? You approach through jump attacks, you approach with Sonic Scythe, and you approach with Bazooka Knee, right? You don't necessarily need to always end up next to the opponent when you touch them, right? You can pester them with your normals. Like, you can use stand medium kick. You can, at a safe distance, you can medium Sonic Scythe, right? You can crouching medium kick. You can hit stand medium punch, try to counter poke them, right? You don't necessarily always need to be next to them to be effective, especially since Nash has pretty good zoning potential, right? Like, you have a pretty good fireball and a pretty good anti-air. By always doing these moves that are forward advancing, you put yourself at a little bit of risk of getting interrupted. It's particularly hard to interrupt the Bazooka Knee, but if you do Sonic Scythe or if you do jump, the opponent can just straight up be like, oh, he's sailing through the air, let me use an anti-air, right? And even though the reward for those is pretty good, but if you only do those things, the opponent only has to respond to a limited number of options, right? Like that, right? Like that. Like, that is the risk of Sonic Scythe. And then you get back in the same situation. Okay. Sonic. I think here in this situation, it looks like you're focusing on getting in more than you are focusing on, like, dealing with the Tiger Shot, right? So it really looks like you're like, okay, I need to get close. I need to get close. I need to get close. You could have absorbed these Tiger Shots, right? Absorb, the V-skill Absorb is like one of your best things versus projectile characters as Nash. It makes it so hard for projectile characters to play against you. Clashing the fireball is not really that bad, but it's not as good as the absorption. Ooh, Combo City. I think you could have V-trigger canceled to extend that combo. I'm not exactly sure. Oh, unfortunate V reversal. This is a hard situation to deal with. If he backs up a little bit more, you have room to grab like that. Yeah, that was good. So this is like an example of what I was talking about. It's like you grab and then just crouch, grab and then crouch. If he throws high Tiger Shot, it goes over you for free. It seems like you backdash. Did you backdash there or just stand up by accident? Oh, you tried to V-skill it again. Okay, okay. Yeah, even if you absorb a fireball, the opponent will still be advantage based on how far away they are. Like, look at how much frame advantage. You're still recovering from the grab when his second Tiger Shot starts up. This is for all projectile characters, right? The further away you are, the better your fireball is, right? You can trap them with your fireballs. You can make a frame trap. You're still recovering from the grab, and his next fireball is already out, right? When someone is throwing projectiles versus you, or you're throwing projectiles, you want to be really aware of the distance at which the projectile touches them, because that can inform you as to whether or not you can take another action or not. Round 2.
Sagat wins.
So round 2. Still a lot of round 2. A lot of advancing behind moves like somersault, moonsault, bazooka knee, and jump. Dealing with Tiger Shot. Just taking the old notes of Ruskies. Tiger Shots. And game plan? Was there a game plan? Okay. So this is the first game, right? Was there a game plan? I wonder. right? Because it seems like you were like just responding to what he was doing, and then sometimes you were jumping and sometimes you were moving with moonsault. Right? So it's like, okay, did you say like, okay, this is the situation I want to be in to play this match, right? I don't know if that happened or not, or if he just set you off the back foot. Generally, whenever you play a match, you want to have some situation, like an ideal situation you want to be in, right? So it could be anything you want, really, right? It could be literally anything you want. But if you pick like your win condition or you know, the situation you're going to pursue, it can really help you make better decisions, and decisions that go together, right? So let me use a basic example with Nash. Let's just say the situation you want to be in is you want to be far enough away to throw your projectile and still be able to anti-air them if they jump it, right? You want to zone them out. That's what you're looking for. Okay, what should we be doing in neutral then? Well, we don't really want to be dashing forward. We don't really need to worry about bazooka knee. We don't really need to worry about stand medium kick or forward command medium kick, the TPS. We don't really need to worry about dashing, right? All we really need to worry about is like, okay, if I want to get in a position, I can walk back, I can backdash, I can throw my fireball to push the opponent back, and then like I'm looking to see if I can do heavy kick, sonic scythe to push them away, and then I can move back in the same situation, right? That's a really simple example, but you can see how just picking a situation you want to be in, like having a basic game plan, can really help you pare down the decisions you need to make, right? If you ever feel lost or you don't know what to do, is mostly because you didn't pick a specific thing you were going for, right? And if you haven't chosen a situation to pursue, it's like really hard just to like freestyle it. You need to have like a really high amount of game knowledge and like a lot of practice to just kind of react to situations, right? So I would recommend forming like a basic game plan, right? So forming a basic game plan for Sagat, or in general, but I'll say for Sagat, right? So like, because I mean, on the character select screen, you already know, like, okay, I know a little bit about this matchup. What advantage can I have? What disadvantage do I have? What am I looking for? What kind of situation do I want to be in? All right. Because I mean, you could choose a bajillion things, but not all those things are gonna help each other, right? Like for example, in neutral, you're staying pretty far away, and you're throwing fireball, absorbing fireballs, and just kind of chilling out. But on offense, you're just like doing a bunch of pressure and a bunch of unsafe options to move forward. So like you'll do a combo into moonsault, which is like really vulnerable to getting interrupted and reacted to. Does that go along with how you're playing neutral, right? Do these things complement each other? Does this help further your advantage, or are you just doing moonsault because you can and you're staying away because you can, right? Like, how do these things go together? Is it helping me progress towards winning if I choose to do these actions, right? Okay, Sonic, right? See, you backed up again, right? Like, so it's like, are you trying to surprise him by darting in? What are we trying to do here? Okay, more fireballs this time. There's another dart in. Another missed anti-air attempt. Anti-airs are just hard. But there's no other there's not like anything fancy to it. Just do it. Right. Okay, another dart in. It really seemed, okay, so you want to be close, right? But what's the plan when we get close? What are we going for? What are we going to do? Are we just getting close to get close? You know? Okay, dash. Sonic. The grab attempt. Okay, nice grab. The more V-skill grabs you do, the better. Right, that's what you want to be doing versus projectiles for sure. Oh, that was a hard one. This was a hard jump to AA. He comes so soon. He comes so soon after the fireball. You probably, if you were really, really snappy, you probably could have AA'd this, but it was still difficult. I got. Okay. Good punish. Combo. The dash again. This is what I'm saying. So you have a really strong position, right? You have a really, really strong position right here. He's kind of locked down. I mean, I guess he could attempt an EX Tiger Shot, but like, okay, you start to retreat. You start to retreat. What does moving further away get you? Right? Why are we moving further away? Do we want this for some specific reason? Or are we just doing it, right? Because this is just giving him space. He's just walking himself out of the corner. He just holds forward. Look at that. Look at that. And then, so you dash, right? Dashing and jumping and moonsault are all generally in the same strategic camp, right? You have a lot of risk here. Like, the potential negative consequence is huge because you can't control your character while this is happening. If you're like the knee, right? You're worried about knee and DP. But the thing is like, can he uppercut you? If you're right here, right? This is so good. You're right here. Boom. Look at how plus your sonic boom is. +6. You have 6 frames to act before he does. You're forcing him to deal with this, right? You could throw Sonic again. Is he going to uppercut you right here? If he jumps out, you can react. If he tries EX, you have time to block, right? He just has to try to EX through another fireball right here. Sagat can't even touch us at this distance. If he does EX knee, what's going to happen? Right? He's going to be minus. To get an EX, to get Tiger Knee to be advantaged, Sagat needs to space it really well. Like, you know, in the same way how Nash can do Bazooka Knee and make it plus by spacing it on the tip, that makes it hit meaty, right? It makes it hit in the later active frames. Sagat has to do that with Tiger Knee. So the closer you are, the harder it is for him to Tiger Knee you. If he Tiger Knees you too close, you can actually just punish it with standing light punch into a combo, right? Nash has a target combo. So right here, you have like the best position, and then you just give it up, right? And you go, okay, I'm gonna surprise, but he responds. He could have just did a whole ass. He could have did a whole ass combo right there. That was your life bar. Okay. I got written down game plan. Oh yeah, we can talk about that. Okay, moonsault again. He could have DP'd this. This was your life, right? Right here. He could have DP'd this. He could have EX. Maybe he couldn't have, but still a dangerous proposition. Like, just the idea of moonsault right here, because generally you've been moonsaulting so much, right? He might be looking out for it. Not necessarily a fan of that moonsault. Round 1. Game plan? Question mark? Game plan? Question mark? Moonsaults and dashes. How to approach more optimally. Okay. All right, let's rewind it. Okay, again here. We talked about this a little bit ago. Right here, this 99 seconds action, you're vulnerable to 99-second jump again, right? As a projectile character, right? If your character has a projectile, it doesn't matter who you're fighting against. It's really, really common, especially online, for people to try to anticipate and jump over the fireball right away. So if you do a slight delay, you want to watch. You just 99 seconds, they can't touch you. They can't do anything, right? You're not worried about anything. If anything, with a good fireball, you're at advantage. At round start distance, if Sagat throws fireball, you absorb it. If he jumps, you can anti-air him, right? If he sits still, then you could throw your fireball. You don't need to do something right away. Your starting action is like one of the most telling things about how you're going to play the match, but it's also one of the times you're most vulnerable, because it's true that you go in like blind. It's like somebody pulls a blindfold off and they go play, right? You have to figure out what's going on. So generally in the beginning of the match, you want to just move, right? You can move forward, you can move back, but you just want to move. You don't ever really want to make a big commitment like a fireball or a sonic scythe. You go for the AA here, right? But it's just too late. It's too late! He's already jumped. I think you try to AA jab on reaction, which is not bad. This is good that you tried the AA on reaction, but he just hauled up in 99 seconds. Okay, again, this is not after a throw, but this is a similar situation, right? Right here, you're really far away from Sagat. What is he gonna do? You know, do you need to move? Right? You might be like, okay, maybe I want to get out of the corner or something like that. But right here, Sagat doesn't really have a lot of powerful options to pursue you. Right? I mean, maybe he could Tiger Knee on block, then the pressure is almost over. Then, or he could do step kick, which is also minus, right? You don't really need to move in this situation. You're so far away. Tiger. This is hard to deal with. Right? You had Sagat in a similar situation before in the last round. Remember that? But he doesn't give it up. He holds it down. You and Sagat can kind of do the same thing where you trap them with fireballs and then you have to force them. Right here, you either... ways to get out of this is to use an EX fireball to blow through theirs, right? And then you can move. Or you can try to neutral jump, which is also risky because they can anti-air you. But you just neutral jump and let the fireball pass through you, which interrupts their timing, right? So it lessens the trap. Grabbing a fireball with V-skill right here, I think it's possible. It's just really hard to do. You'd have to be really fast to react. You try to grab after the second fireball, but again, when Sagat and Nash are unique that their fireballs are plus on block no matter what, but the further away you are from the opponent, the more advantageous your fireball is. So like right here, what does he have? He has a plus 12 fireball. He's plus 12. So this is a frame trap, right? So if you block the first fireball, you gotta block the second one. Okay, there we go. That's one of the solutions to getting out of that situation. But we followed up with a dash. I mean, you need to move forward a little bit to get him out of the corner. Okay, down fierce. Stand medium. This is the frame trap. Fireball. Okay, what's the plan, right? We did the fireball. We're at this position. What do we want to do, right? Okay, bazooka knee. We're continuing pressure. Bazooka knee again. Remember, the bazooka knee will be minus at this distance if he blocks it, right? So you want to be careful about doing it so close. Like right here, this is punishable on block. Right? I know Nash's movement speed is not the best, but you can walk, right? Okay, Tiger Knee. This is +3. He used EX. This is a guaranteed V reversal as well. If he Tiger Knees you, you can V reversal the first or the second hit EX, and then it just throws him away. But this is like not all that threatening. All right. Oh, big crush counter opportunity. Okay. Okuzeme. Moonsault, that was vulnerable. I think, so you've done a lot of block strings to this guy, and he's just held down back. He didn't V-reversal. He didn't try to contest you. He didn't try to do anything until, like, you were far away, right? So maybe try some throws, right? Like, add a little bit of throw into your offense. Because it doesn't look like he's trying to tech. And if he does tech, now you're empowered to mix him up, right? There's a pretty strong relationship between throw bait, frame trap, and throw, right? So if you're frame trapping them and they're just blocking, you can go for a throw. And when they tech, you get a lot of information that can help you throw bait and do your frame trap again, right? Because now you get to see the timing at which they tech. Did they tech right away? Did they tech really late, right? Did they tech after I walked forward? Did they tech after a certain amount of buttons I did on block, right? Do they tech after I do jab, or do they tech after I do medium punch, right? Is it being close that makes them tech, or is it a certain sequence, right? You get a lot of information about your opponent's defensive habit by going for a throw. So even if you do a throw attempt and it doesn't work, it's still really powerful, because if you can figure out what causes them to tech, you're enabled to throw bait. And if you see that they stop teching and they start pressing a button, you can frame trap them, right? And depending on the way in which they tech, right? Like, say, for example, you do jab and you try to throw, and your opponent techs right away. You could frame trap that. You could do jab, down medium punch, and it'll frame trap their throw just like you'd frame trap a normal attack, right? So if you're having trouble cashing out any of the damage that you could possibly get with a throw, that's like, it's like perfectly fine. And if you can't touch the guy, try to throw him. Right. Furthermore, by going for a throw, that's a form of staggered pressure, right? Is you do a hit, there's a delay where you move, and then there's a throw, right? That's a form of staggered pressure. The same thing if you did like jab, move forward, jab, right? That also can help you, because now you can see if your opponent either wants to contest you or if they want to walk backwards. And if they walk backwards, well, now you know I'll do a button, wait a little bit, and then hit them with low medium kick, or hit them with low light kick or something like that, right? So all throughout this set, you've done frame traps, but you haven't really mixed up your pressure enough in an exploratory way, right? You've been doing the frame traps, but they haven't been like evolving. Like, you haven't been watching his defense and saying, okay, he's not pressing a button during my frame traps, and he's not getting hit by my jumps. Maybe I can, I don't know, go for a throw, or maybe I can go for a throw bait, or try a different type of frame trap or something like that, right? Okay. Here again, we see another backup, another walk back. Are we waiting for DP? Right. Another thing to think about here is your health value, right? Your health. When you have, so right here is not the best example because your health is lower than his. But if your health was higher than his and he uppercut you, is that going to put him in a winning position, right? You need to see, like, if he DPs me, is my health going to be lower than his? Because you can take an uppercut, right? It's not only a 50-50 for you, it's also a 50-50 for him, right? So when he wakes up, you can go, am I going to attack you, or am I going to throw you, or am I going to bait, right? You have the mix-up option. He also has the mix-up option. He has, am I going to press a button? Am I going to do an invincible thing? or am I gonna block? Right? You see what I'm saying? Like, you don't need to always fear the mix-up. You're letting him control the situation a little bit unnecessarily. This is not the best example because your health is really low. So actually backing up here is not that bad of a decision, because I mean if you got DP'd here, you'd be really fucked, because then he'd be able to Tiger Shot and stuff again. You don't have enough health to sacrifice to Tiger Shots trying to figure out a way to get past the jungle gym of projectiles, right? But generally, this is part of that pattern where you're saying, like, oh, I'm worried about him DPing. Is he going to DP every time? Every time? You know what I mean? All right. You got to take some modicum of risk. You got to take a little bit of risk. Okay, activation station. Again, it would be really cool to see a throw here. Okay, activation station. Projectile City. EX to follow. Nice. This is like the one throw. Then we back up again. You gotta try something, right? You gotta try something. Not rank that's got you fearing DPs. Well, I always say this online. The meme is that when you play online, everybody wakes up with a button and nobody does a media attack. I mean, here's another way to think about it. If you always back up on wake up, like you've backed up on his wake up like 4 times right now, right? You can use that to your advantage, right? You can say, oh, he's expecting me to back up on my wake up, on his wake up. I can go for a meaty now, right? Because he expects you to back up, right? In the same way that he's using that to his advantage. He can say, oh, he always backs up on my wake up. There's a really strong pattern here. I'm not going to do anything. Or I'm going to wake up with a low or something like that. Right? You can use the mix up as much as your opponent can use a mix up. So you don't really need to be so cautious, right? You can still do something. You have agency in this situation. It's not, DP is like not locking you down. You're just letting it, right? Because if you backed up 5 times on his wake up, he's gonna DP the first time you don't back up. I don't know, right? It's a little bit late in the match to be exploring those type of options. Generally, right here, close to the last round, ideally you would have like, had a ideal situation you want to be in. Like you have a basic game plan, and then by trying to pursue that, you see how the opponent responds to the actions you take, and then you would adjust and adapt the actions you take just a little bit, but still pursue your general game plan, right? Right here, because honestly, because both of the way that the players have been playing, it'd be really hard to make a read right here. But I mean, he hasn't done anything on wake up. Like he has not reversal once, and you've always backed up. So you could say that by backing up, you condition him not to do anything, or maybe that's just his natural response. It's a little bit unclear to me, even watching the replay, but I think you got to risk it for the biscuit a little bit more, especially when your health is high, especially when your health is really high, because if you get DP'd once, it's not really the end of the world. You give up so much opportunity by just retreating on the opponent. Yeah. Right, like you just back away. Now, unlike a throw in the middle of the screen, this throw is threatening, This throw is threatening because when characters throw you in the corner, they do have follow-ups. It is possible for you to follow this up with an attack, right? So in the corner, you need to be a lot more cautious about throws. This is one of the reasons the corner sucks. Like the corner is really good if you have your opponent in the corner. This is the best position you could possibly have, but the corner really sucks to be in. Okay, here, if you see high tiger, generally crouch, because the fast high tiger is pretty fast. Like right here, this is just like a tough reaction, but you just want to crouch. Okay. There's that command normal, the forward hard kick. If you had used that a little bit more, I think that would be a good normal to use. Conic break. Okay, we're staying away, right? What? Again, I know it's late in the match, but like, what are we holding this distance for, right? What are we moving for? What situation we want to be in? Do we want to be where, like, we could fireball him and put him in a little bit of fireball trap? Is that what we're going for? Or do we want to be, you know, far enough away to where we could safely throw a fireball and anti-air at the same time? Stuff like that. This is a really tough position because he's fully loaded. Exactly. Yeah, that's a good thing. That's a good observation, right? Right here, he has CA, and you do not have V-bar, right? If you have a V-bar, his CA is not dangerous, but because you don't have one, his CA is really dangerous. You're not low enough for him to chip you yet, right? So, all right, we backed up. What should we be pursuing? Maybe we want to try to grab fireball. You know, you'd have to be a lot lower to get chipped. Maybe right here he could chip you. Okay, now he can definitely chip you, right? But you have a V-bar, so you could V-reversal. So chip is not an option. The only way he could chip you is if he just did surprise super. Like he was like, dash, surprise super, and you didn't check the dash. Oh, moonsault. Okay. Sonic. I'm not 100% confident in what Nash can do after this. But, I mean, right here, I mean, I guess he could wake up super. Right. But you got to pursue some situation. You got to take a little bit of risk. Okay, we retreat again. EX. This is also a threat, right? You got to think about this in a fireball war. Nash and I think Sagat's fireball is a little bit better than Nash's, right? So, like, you're evenly matched because you have the absorption, but you still got to worry about stuff like this. Right there at the end of the match, I think throwing fireballs is maybe something you might want to have abandoned altogether, right? Just look for the absorption, because if you absorb enough, you get multiple red bars of courage, and the V-trigger is super strong. So, round two. Round two. Game plan again. Game plan again, and then not pressuring or pursuing. I love the English language. Perusing, not pressuring or following up on advantaged situations. Okay, form a basic game plan versus Sagat. Find some reliable Oki setups from bread and butter combos. What else? Let's one more thing. Use and explore Nash's other approach options. Okay. So let's go into training mode and look a little bit, right? Let's go into training mode and look a little bit. All right, let's talk about the first one. This is like the most abstract and difficult one. There's some matchup specific stuff that is really relevant here, but generally we're not even really worried about matchup specific stuff when we talk about this, right? So it was pretty decently apparent that like you're just kind of freestyling, and that's not bad, it's just really fucking hard. Like really, 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 really hard to do that, right? So when you're fighting Sagat, or any character really, you need to have a situation you want to be in mind. You need to have a simple game plan. So you got to think, when you see Sagat on the character select screen, like, where do you want to be? Do you want to challenge him with projectiles because you have the advantage with absorb, right? So like maybe you want to back away and absorb and then challenge and absorb and then challenge until you get your V trigger, right? Or do you just want to keep doing this the whole game and outzone him? Or do you want to be up close and kind of abuse the fact that, you know, you have some forward advancing pokes where Sagat can't really press a button, challenge him by stuffing his fireballs? Do you want to try to rush him down and mix him up, right? Do you want to, is your objective to try to corner him, right? What are you looking for, right? What is the game plan? You need to have, man, I do not play Nash, you can tell. You need to have a simple, just general idea of what kind of situation you want to be in, because that will help you sort through and pick the good options in play, right? And what I mean by good options is options that complement each other, right? Options that complement each other. So let's just say, for example, you wanted to try to outzone Sagat, right? You're throwing your light fireball, sometimes heavy fireball, you're absorbing, you can absorb tiger shots, you're developing V-trigger, right? To facilitate this kind of situation, we don't really need to worry about, you know, doing pressure sequences. We don't need to worry about shimmying him. We don't need to worry about really even kind of what normals we're going to poke at him with, right? We just need to worry about our distance and whether or not he's walking forward or he's throwing projectile back, right? You see how that limits the things you need to worry about and the things you need to do, right? It helps you pick things that go together. It helps you pick things that pick action. It helps you pick actions that lead into the other actions, right? Like, so for example, let's say we throw fireball, right? Sagat jumps. We do heavy sonic scythe. Guess what? Now we're back into the situation to go for our condition again, right? Or say, for example, Sagat is throwing fireballs back. Well, we can just neutralize them and crouch under high tiger shot, and we're still in the situation we chose. This is the situation we're prepared for. We can work with this, right? We're ready to work for this. We don't need to think about 10 million things that Sagat can do to us, right? Because we're controlling the situation by picking the one we choose, right? You could do that with rushing him down. You could do that with being at any distance you want, really. But you need to have a simple game plan. I mean, it doesn't even need to be simple. It could be complicated as fuck, but you need to have one. Just in general, it's not to say that you can't abandon it, right? You don't need to stick to just one thing. You don't need to be a robot who can only do 2 or 3 things. You just want to have a general idea of the situation you want to pursue, because that, again, I cannot stress this enough. This is really important. That will help you sort out what are the good options to choose. You know what I mean? Like, for example, in that replay, you were backing away and just kind of hanging out, like right about here. You were hanging out most of the time. If you want to be at this distance, right, you have a slight advantage because you can absorb fireball and you can AA him if he jumps, right? Does Bazooka Knee make the situation better or worse, right? So say we're trying to zone out Sagat, just as an example, right? We're zoning, we're challenging him to fireball war, we're absorbing. Does Bazooka Knee make more advantage for us or less advantage strategically? Do we need to worry? Do we even need to consider doing Bazooka Knee, right? I think I would say no. I would say that Bazooka Knee doesn't fold into that strategy. You know what I'm saying? And the only way we would really not Bazooka Knee is if we were like dead set on saying, okay, this is the situation I want. I cannot stress that enough, is you want to be able to have a game plan. And by just picking yourself like a win condition, you're going to get really well versed and you're going to get really familiar with how to handle the situations that arise when you try to force that type of situation, right? And it's not just like zoning. It's literally in every context. As you become more proficient and like more experienced as a player in the game, you can better shift between those. So like during a match, you could switch your game plan, right? But you still want to have an idea of a situation you want to be in. You never really want to just go, okay, I'm just going to play and see what happens. Because when you do that, that's when like the random happens to you. You know what I mean? That's like when you can't, like, what the fuck is going on? Ah! Right? And then you're not really in control of your own actions or influencing the opponent's actions. So that's the first thing I recommend to practice. It's a little abstract, but it's very important. Is choose a situation you want to be in and play a few matches specifically focusing on getting into that situation. Right? That's the first thing to practice. Second thing is that's legit what happened versus Urien. You got robbed. Right, he activated the red bar of courage and you were like, the fuck is going on? Maybe I'll try to do this, maybe I'll try to do that. And now it's like you're testing your reactions, and that's just really hard. It's not impossible, but it makes it really difficult, you know? So like if you were like fighting against Urien and you say, okay, versus Urien, I just want to be, I don't know, for some reason I want to be at range to touch him with this, right? That would help you pick what to do, right? So right here on the screen, you could literally do almost infinite things, right? Walk forward, walk back, crouch, jump forward, jump back. You could do any one of your normal attacks. You could do any one of your special moves. You could V-trigger. There's so much you can do. What option is the right one? The right option depends on the context. It depends on the matchup. But more importantly, like 90%, it depends on what our game plan is. Right? You want to have I cannot stress this enough. You want to have a general idea of a situation you want to be in, because it will help you pick options to do in neutral, and it will help you pick things that go together, and you'll find yourself you're in that situation more and more because you're limiting your own options to things that help you get back into that situation. It's the same thing with like say we do this, right? And then we get Oki, right? We get Oki. Oh, we go into the situation again, right? So we could have a game plan that's like, I want to land this move. How can I land this move? Well, I could jump, I could dash, I could very slowly walk towards them. I can try to whiff punish them with this move, right? It helps you develop strategically sound approaches. So the thing to practice is just pick a situation you want to be in. Any kind of situation you want, anything you think is interesting or cool or whatever. Like, do you want to have them knocked down? Do you want to hit them with Sonic Scythe? Do you want to do Fireball? Do you want to be throwing them? Whatever kind of situation you want, and just play a bunch of matches. Just play, a few matches where that's your objective. Like the goal is to just get into that situation. Whether you win the match, you lose, just try to pursue that situation. The second thing is open up training mode. Choose Nash and find reliable Oki situations after the most common combos you do, right? The bread and butters. You want to find out what your options are to pursue the opponent when you knock them down, right? Because when you knock the opponent down, you basically almost didn't do anything, right? You always retreated, and you only really want to bait when you have to, or like you have a really good hunch, right? So here's what I mean, right? Let's just say Sagat was knocked down, right? Let's say you hit them with meaty, down medium punch, right? If you hit them with medium punch, what can you do? You could threaten micro walk throw, right? You could go for a frame trap. You could go for staggered pressure, right? You can go for EX, right? And then during the EX, you could stagger as well, right? You could maybe do this during the EX, or you could do both. You know what I mean? You want to see what your options are. So like, knock them down, and then, all right, maybe I want to hit medium punch, or can I land a throw here if I knock him down? Right? What are my Oki options? I'm sure like you can Google, like you can just go, hey Google machine, what's Nash Oki Street Fighter 5, right? Or you could maybe ask the Nash Discord, like, what do I do after I knock them down? What can I get? And you just want to try, you know, just doing some Oki. But you want to make sure, again, cannot stress this enough, the option you choose after Oki, you want to try to get into your game plan again, right? So let's say we knock Nash down, he does this, right? I mean, let's say we knock Sagat down and we hit him. If our game plan is the zone, we don't need to go back in, right? We can get back into the situation we want. We want to stick to our game plan. We want to stick to that situation we're trying to pursue. That seems, at first, that can seem really rigid, and it seemed like, yeah, that could make you predictable. But to be honest about predictability, right? A lot of people worry about, oh, am I predictable? Am I autopilot? I'm going to try to say this like the informative way after I say it the way that everybody feels. That shit doesn't fucking matter. You're playing online. You think the opponent is watching what you're doing? That shit, no. Right? Don't worry about being predictable. Everyone online fucking sucks. We're all trash. You know what I mean? So it doesn't matter. Don't worry about it. You need to practice getting familiar with situations. Don't worry about being predictable until you're in Evo top 16 or something like that, right? Okay, that's a little bit of an exaggeration. Now let me say it the informative way. When you're playing net play, it's not necessarily conducive to, okay, let me rephrase this. When you're just playing to play, it's not necessarily conducive to becoming a stronger player. To become a stronger player, you need to practice intentionally, right? You need to practice really intentionally. You need to, like, when you go to the gym, you don't just go, oh, I'm just going to do something. No, you go, okay, on this day, I'm going to do my arms. On this day, I'm going to do back. On this day, I'm going to do legs. Or on this day, I'm going to run. Or I'm going to do, 20 push-ups, 20 sit-ups, 20 squats, and then I'm going to do 5 pull-ups and take a 30-second break and then do it all over again or something like that, right? You have a regimen, you have a plan, you have intentional practice, right? When you learn how to play piano, you do drills, you practice intentionally, you practice the same song over and over again until you can get it perfect. It's the same thing when you play Street Fighter. You can practice the situations your character is in versus the other characters and other players. So you need to do that. You need to sometimes go online and be like, today I'm just really going to focus on anti-airs, or today I'm really just going to focus on using forward hard kick and explore that situation. Where's forward hard kick good? Where's forward hard kick bad? Where is it kind of okay? Is it good to spam it? Do I want to wait in between doing it? Does it complement any of my other moves if I forward hard kick them and then do this or that, right? Just, you need to intentionally practice. If you're playing like net play and your goal is just like, I'm just going to win 10 times, that's not really going to make you a better player. I mean, you might have fun, or you might be able to like discover something by chance, but that it severely reduces your advances, it severely reduces your opportunities to improve if you don't have a goal, right? You need to have a goal. So anyway, back to what to do. Training mode, you need Nash Oki. You need to figure out what your Oki is and figure out and explore what options you have if the Oki hits, if it is blocked, and if they avoid it somehow, right? So quick rise, back rise, EX reversal, stuff like that, right? What is a situation you're gonna be in? Right, I keep saying this because this is a game about situations, right? This is a game about situation, decision, situation, decision, situation, decision. And then the final thing is, you need to do this in training mode. Open up training mode and try to simulate some distances and situations you have been in before and explore what been in before, right? And explore how you can advance towards the opponent English language. How you can advance towards the opponent without jumping or using bazooka knee or moonsault, right? So explore approach options from various distances versus various characters. Try to simulate a situation you've been in before, right? So what I mean is, in training mode, a lot of people just use training mode for combos and stuff like that. Training mode is a simulation mode. You have control over both the characters. So like versus Sagat, let's just say, I don't know, let's just say that Sagat does EX high tiger shot, right? And you block it, or you crouch under it. Let's just say this is just a situation you might have been in before, right? Okay, now how can we move towards Sagat? What are our options here, right? Maybe we could sweep, and then we could dash, maybe, right? This is an approach option. Maybe after tiger shot, because he's going to be in recovery, we could forward hard kick, right? Maybe we can dash, right? Maybe we could, if we walk forward, how far can we walk forward before he can do something else, right? Maybe we Sobot. Just explore approach options in situations you've been in before. So look at your replay, right? Like look at the replay. Look at replays and find situations you have been in before and want to explore. Use the replays to help you find situations to simulate, right? Use the replays to help you to find situations you want to simulate. And look for Nash's approach options. Like how can you get closer to the opponent without jumping, without using moonsault, and without excuse me. All right, so I don't know. Here's another one. I'm sure you've been in this situation. You throw Sonic Boom and the opponent just stands there, right? I'm sure this happens all the time. The opponent just stands there. How can we get close? Well, Sonic Boom is protecting us, so maybe we could dash, right? But that doesn't get us close, super close. Normal attacks isn't really gonna help. Maybe can we dash twice? Nah, we might be minus, right? Let's look at the frame advantage. That looks minus. Okay. Well, if we dash once, all right, this is as close as we can get. What does that give us? Well, we could, if they jump, we could do this, right? I suppose we could Sonic and Moonsault, right? We could Sonic and Moonsault, but if they're full screen, they'll get pushed back. And Moonsault, we want to avoid Moonsault, right? Because this is a bad habit we have of approaching behind Moonsault and jump, which is very vulnerable to getting interrupted. You know what I mean? So like, we want to, I mean, you could, but that you can anti-air that. So let's say if we did want to Moonsault, we'd have to be really far away, but not too far because then they get pushed back. So maybe this is only an option for the corner or an option if we're willing to take the risk of them DPing us, right? Because this, Sagat could EX this, right? He could easily regular DP that. He might even be able to hard kick. Maybe not hard kick. That's a little bit of a reach. Right. You see what I'm saying, right? So we want to find approach options, or like you've been in this situation before, right? Where you touch them with this at max distance, right? Okay, I want to get close again. What do I do? Right? I'm minus, however, right? I'm minus 10, but they're far away. What can I do? How can I get close again? Well, I could jump, but they could anti-air me, right? Am I close enough to dash here? That's still dangerous. That's more dangerous than jumping, actually. Right? Try to look at replays. Look at some replays you played, and see like, oh, okay, right here, I think I want to get close. Let me make this situation in training mode, and then just try everything out. Just like, oh, if I dash, okay, what happens now? Right? Well, I could jab him, medium punch. Okay, I do this. We're this far away. Can I safely throw a fireball? Is the fireball good for me? Does that lead back into what I wanted to do before? Right? You got to explore your situations. You really got to just a little bit more conceptual knowledge will help you a lot. Like a little bit more constructed concepts. Mastery of some concepts would really help you a lot. Because the main problems I saw in that Sagat replay, or at least in my opinion, right, is that you really didn't have a game plan. And the Sagat player was just like, well, I'm just gonna fucking zone him, dude. And then I'm gonna dash forward and pressure him a little bit, and then when he's far away, I'm gonna zone him again. And you just got ripped apart by Tiger Shot. And you tried like a couple different approach options, but none of them were particularly safe, and they didn't really go together, right? What else? I mean, yeah, that's really. Do you have any? I mean, I guess we could look at the Urien match. It's a little bit past the time slot again. This happens a lot. I mean, we can run over the Urien match real quick. Let's run over the Urien match real quick. I won't take notes for this one. No, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Yeah, we'll run over the Urien match real quick. I'll look at your CFM. How do I look at your? How do I look? I don't know how to look at your profile. Oh, another thing about picking a game plan and picking a specific goal when you play is that it will help you be a lot less frustrated, right? Take it from me. When I play online, I get fucking tight. I have a lot of experience getting really annoyed online. I mean, you see it. I broadcast. I only play this game when I stream. And if I have something specific I want to try to do, it's not anywhere near as frustrating because I now understand the situation. Even if I lose the match, right, I still have progress towards my goal. Something positive still happened for me. You know what I mean? All right, let's watch these. Okay. Here again, we can see the jumping, the over. So jumping, right? Jumping is not inherently bad or good. Like, no action you take in this game is like a good option or a bad option. It's all contextual, right? Given the context. And to get good gameplay, you need to supply yourself context again by having a game plan, right? Or you can switch up your game plan in the middle of a match, by the way. It's not like something that's set in stone. I really feel like that's an important point to push across. And then you can always adjust it slightly, right? Baby trigger. Combo. slug it out because he pressed many buttons, right? One of the ways you can stop that is like figuring out your Oki options, right? And figuring out what kind of pressure sequences are good, right? When I say pressure sequence, I mean like not just a frame trap, but like what are your options? So like earlier I was talking about if you touch them with crouching medium punch, can you throw them after medium punch? Can you continue to frame trap? Can you back up? How far do you go when you back up after medium punch, right? Can you do a fireball? Like, you know, a situation. Okay. What is this? Is this an anti-air? What is this? So when matchup specific stuff is when Urien does. So I don't know. Maybe you thought he jumped forward and you just reacted poorly. That happens, right? But some matchup specific stuff is if Urien activates the second Aegis Reflector, it's not safe, right? So even though you get hit by this right here, I think you do Sonic Scythe again. If you had blocked this tackle into Aegis, it would have been punishable. The second Aegis is punishable. The only safe one is the first one. And of course, he can knock you down and do it meaty. He can do it on Oki, but if he does a block string into the second Aegis, is always punishable. Depending on what your character has, you may or may not be able to get a good punish. Another thing I would say about that last match is that at the end there, you went for a reset when you could have just killed him with a combo. Generally, you always want to do the maximum damage combo whenever possible, unless you specifically are trying to set up a mix-up, right? Like you didn't need to go for that reset right there. You could have did an EX and just finished them all. Hey, what's up, Demon? Yo, GG's, man. I see you. Stream snipe? Nah, every time you're streaming, I'm turning this shit up. I'm turning the game on every time. Every time I see Demon EX on my the Twitch, you know, you go on Twitch, it's like on the side. I see him. I'm turning this shit up. I see you, man. Yo, good games, bro. Alright. There's that bazooka knee again, right? This is the habit we identified earlier. Using a lot of jump, a lot of bazooka knee. But what are these getting you? You know what I mean? Excuse me. Sonic. Okay. Okay. Again, you give up Oki. That's not just specifically Sagat, is it then? Right? This is a big pattern. This is why I always recommend when you watch replays, you watch them in bulk. Like you watch like 5 or 6 of your own replays at one time. Because here, right? Why are we backing up? Are we worried about EX headbutt? Right? We just knocked him down in the corner. Our V-trigger is on. Right? What are we backing up for? This is similar to how you pressured Sagat or non-pressured, right? In this situation, some specific stuff about Urien is that if you do a meaty jab, you're going to be crouching. You can do any crouching attack really, but it needs to be very meaty. It needs to hit him on the last active frame to work. With his headbutt, his reversal headbutt has a lot of startup. It has like 11 frames or something like that. So what happens if you do like a low jab or a low attack, generally your attack will finish recovering before the reversal headbutt can hit you. Most people do a low jab, right? It depends on how much recovery your move has. Nash might be able to do medium punch. I'm not sure. But you can actually, when Urien has EX bar, you can still pressure him just like you could pressure any other character. Even you could pressure him the same way even if he doesn't have EX bar. You just have to use jab. You can still do immediate attacks. You just do a low, and if he tries to headbutt you, it won't work. So right here, you do not need to back up. You can continue to pressure him in the corner. Now, if you thought, if you had a read, like you said, oh, he's going to EX headbutt, I'm going to block it and get a crush counter, that would be a little bit different. But based on the replays we saw before, that doesn't really look like what's happening. So here again, you just let him out of the corner. You give up the best possible position you could have had. I think I would add to the notes is play a few games specifically with the goal of keeping the opponent in the corner and not giving up the corner. Not giving up the corner. Don't worry about comboing them or, doing anything fancy. Just keep them caged. Be careful to not walk back too far. That's something specifically I would add to something you can practice. Okay. Generally, you'll be able to find a space where you can stand. Generally, if you have a every character has this. When the opponent's in the corner, you can back up to a spot where they can't jump out and you can still do something to them. So for Nash, you can back up maybe like 1 or 2 character distances away and you could throw fireball, light sonic boom. If they jump, you could still anti-air them and you can like trap them. Or you could pester them with like forward hard kick. It'd probably be at the tip of his forward hard kick range. That's a decent spot to stand, right? There's that bazooka knee again, right? What's our follow-up after bazooka knee? Why are we doing it? What is the goal of bazooka knee, right? Because most of the time when you do bazooka knee, you just bazooka knee into block, right? I mean, getting close to the opponent is not bad, but you got to think through the objective a little bit, right? Like, oh, big block, that's big punish. Just unfortunate. That shit is hard to react to. Like, punishing stuff is just tough. Okay, combo city. Oh, that's my alarm. I gotta feed my cat. Okay. Aegis, Augustus. The second Aegis is unsafe. Let's remember that. Alright, let me open up my... Let me save this. I'm gonna save this. So, basically with these replay reviews, right? I upload the replay review to YouTube. So you'll be able to check the VOD, like, anytime you want. And this document, I upload onto my Discord server. So if you wanted to download these notes, you can get them right off the Discord server. Let me do that right now. Exclamation Discord. Yeah, so eventually, maybe not today, probably later tomorrow, the next day, I cut and upload all the VODs. So I'm just gonna open up Discord right now and upload the document. Excuse me. So there's a replay review channel. I'm gonna upload this right now. Give me 1 second. So this is 171 versus what was his name? The Scar. I'll just write replay review. Alright, I'm uploading. The document has been uploaded. It is in the replay review channel. The replay review channel is under the utility section, right above the tech vault, and right under matchmaking. Versus Sagat, yeah. Urien wins. Yeah, we see a lot of similar things to when you fought against Sagat versus this Urien, actually. So I would say some of those are a little bit habitual. Now, don't get it twisted. Even though, you know, myself or like other people will talk about the game like very casually, and we'll be like, oh, just anti-air him. Oh, don't, you know, just do immediate attack. Oh, this shit is hard. You know, so like if it's, you know, don't think it's not hard. Like it's actually hard. Like, so don't worry about it if it's not easy. You know, this shit is actually really hard. Okay. Corner city. Here's some frame data stuff. You go for this reset again. If you have the opponent, think about this, right? When you air reset the opponent, what kind of situation do you get? You get the opportunity to where they're resetting on the ground. You're at frame advantage. You can mix them up between a media attack, a throw, or you could bait them, right? They can counter with a reversal or some sort of defensive option. Like they could contest you, they could evade, or they can just wait you out, right? That situation, the air reset situation, is very similar to the wake up situation. When the opponent wakes up, you can threaten them with a media attack, you could throw them, or you could bait them, and they can respond with a reversal attack. They could try to contest you like a delay button. They could try to move. They could try to evade you, or they could just wait you out by just blocking. So when you have V-Trigger on and you go for this reset, why not just go for the combo? Does Nash not get Oki here, right? Does he not get a knockdown situation he can pursue? I'm not 100% sure because I don't really truly know about Nash, but the reset seems a little bit unnecessary unless you're trying to make them do something real specific, right? Because the idea of a reset, like you see a lot of people use resets really poorly, right? The idea of the reset is that your mix-up afterwards is going to be powerful and it's probably going to hit them. So what you're doing is you're stopping your combo short, intentionally giving up damage for the potential of more damage, right? Well, what's the potential here off this reset, right? How are you going to mix him up? Is it a left-right? Is it really tricky for him to defend? Right here, generally, this type of reset with the V skill, it looks like you're just resetting him into like, oh, well, if you don't block, you get fucked, right? But if he's just blocking from the front, all you get is a throw, right? I mean, if there's something specific, but it doesn't look too tricky, is what I mean, right? So I would just, you know, consider trying to cash out with the combo a little bit more. That's just something to think about, right? Air resets and wake-up situations are really similar. You have really similar options. Okay. So what's the schmicks? It's just medium punch. All right. And you finish the combo. I don't know if this is safe on block, but it looks like you've done this before. I've seen you do this before where you just finish the combo, right? It's a little bit of a foresight thing. Are we like, that's plus 12? I see. Right. He just didn't block. Unfortunately, right? He just didn't block. Okay. You're chasing him again, right? Chasing him. This is similar to when you were fighting against Sagat. You back away until you get a moment to breathe, and you go, okay, I'm going to dart in. Same kind of deal. You try to move, too, on defense. I have this bad habit as well. I do the same exact thing. You just move too much. You just try to move too much. It's okay to block. Remember, when you're blocking, you're still in control. You use that as a mix-up. You can mix the opponent up on block as much as you can on offense. Right? Like you can show him like, oh, I'm blocking. And he goes, oh, he's going to block. And then you don't block, right? You just do something. Okay, mash out of stun. Reset situation. Okay. He's pressed. Moonsault, unfortunate. That's punishable. Even if you did the light one, which one did you do? Yeah, you did the light one. Yeah, I was gonna say even if you did the lightest one, you'd still go over the corner. If you didn't go into the corner, he could anti-air you. He could reactively EX headbutt at the very least. Okay. Now, just based on what I've seen before, I wouldn't be surprised if you either jump onto a fireball or if you bazooka knee and he interrupts you. Augustus reflagged her. Oh, unfortunate. Damn, he didn't go, he did a reset. He didn't just do the combo. He could have just did elbow. I mean, shoulder. You guys both kind of did the same thing where you went for resets when you could just finish them off. Just some stuff to think about. Not the deepest analysis of that match versus Urien, but we saw, I mean, we can see a little bit of the same stuff, right? Anyway, I hope that helped. I really hope that it was quite informative. I'm going to eventually upload the VOD. Yeah, I mean, I tried. We learned together, right? I don't really know that much about Nash, so I can't give you any super specific things, but most of the stuff I saw was a little bit general, so I hope it was informative. I try my best.